And like I had to get used to it. Like people would just like get so frustrated, and I'm just like, we not cool. Like why you like that? You know, like.
All right, everybody. All right. Yeah, like a pinball machine.
And we haven't get no bonus points.
Right? Nothing.
All right. We're about to get started again. Hello. What's up, everybody? How y'all doing today? In case most of y'all might not know, or I know a lot of y'all do know who I am. I'm Mike. I've had a quite of awakening this year myself. For 2 years I was having shortness of breath. Could not figure out what it was from. But that was like about around April. And it got really bad when I started wearing the mask, which I wore for a couple of hours or so. And it really kicked my lungs and my thyroids, just knocked it clean out. So on my way home, I couldn't breathe. I'm on the expressway trying to figure out why I can't breathe. But being as strong as I am, I made it home. Started doing a little regimens of the steaming and doing all this crazy stuff that I've heard. And I'm like, man, I've had the flu before, so I noticed it's not the flu or nothing like that. But I was, having pressure in the face, lost taste of tongue and stuff like that. And I'm just sitting there at home man, what is really going on? So I took a walk around the block about 4 times and noticed everything went away. All the symptoms, everything went away. I started feeling better. I'm like, yo, this is weird. What is really going on? So come back in the house, trying to figure out what's really happening. So I thought maybe I wasn't getting enough sleep. So I ended up laying down trying to get some sleep. But the energy came back so strong, it started shaking my belly. And I didn't know what that was. Jump out of the bed, run out of the house, call the ambulance, get him there, and he was like, are you having a panic attack or something? Because all my blood, everything came back, everything was good. Oxygen was 100%. So they couldn't figure out what was wrong. And I'm like, I'm not having a panic attack. How at 42 years old, all of a sudden I just up and have a panic attack? So I'm like, no, that definitely can't be the case. So it took me in, did all the little tests and everything, did not have COVID or nothing like that. I told them it was happening for 2 years. So they couldn't say that. They couldn't say it. And I had already did my homework on what coronavirus was. This term was from 1930. It's when they first found it out in chickens and things like that. Then they found it in humans in 1965. So the whole time it's nothing but the flu when you're talking about coronavirus. Well, then they say there's different strands. Well, they know that these different strands can mutate. They can mutate within the live body. So even if they give you the flu shot, that inactive virus will then come alive in your body and mutate into something else. It doesn't even have to be the flu. It can be whatever it wants to mutate it into. And this is on the government website, where they talk about the static electromagnetic field also mutates any viruses that might be inactive in your body and makes it active. This is definitely on the government website page. They speak of this. And they're steady pumping us with viruses through vaccines and putting the vaccinations in the food, the meats. This is why it's important for us to educate each other and understand what we're eating and what we're putting in our body is our choice. How they're vaccinating the meat and the food and doing, that's what they want to do. But everybody makes their own choice on what they want to eat, when they want to eat it. So if you don't want to have these vaccines and things mutate into something else, then you should stop eating what you don't know what you're eating. And go back to eating things that is living, that is thriving, that comes from the earth. All your fruits, your vegetables that are not hybrid, fruits that are not hybrid as well. Like you can have a little bit of that, but not overindulge. Same thing with even good food. Even if you are eating the live foods, you want to make sure that it's right. It has to be right. So like right now, there's a lot of people that's doing alkaline, but I try to mention to people as much as I can. If you're eating these purifiers, they have to be right, because if they're not right, it's starch, and it's not good for the body. So the people that's cooking it has to know that they have to be right. And the Bureau bananas take a long time to be right. If they're not picked right when you get them, you have to know when they become right. Otherwise, you're eating starch. You might as well just go ahead and eat the potato, because you're eating the same thing. And these are the things that we have to educate each other on. So as much information I've received over the past 8 months, it's a beautiful thing to be awakened and to be able to share this with everyone, the things that I went through. And I'm still kind of going through a little bit of challenges and cleaning up everything, still removing toxins from the body. So it definitely takes a while. I also found out that with the vaccinations, a certain vaccination I believe we got, I'm not sure if it was from the measles or whichever one, but it affects your kidneys. I think it's the Merck 5 or something like that. And it slowly affects the kidneys over time. So and the person I listened to, which is Dr. Robert Morris, he would tell us every single time, you have to clean the lymphatic system, clean up your kidneys, because that's where the problem lies at. If your kidneys is not filtering, if you're not sweating properly, if your lymphatic system is blocked, or your lymph nodes is getting blocked and things like that, you are not healthy. And you have to understand that making sure your kidneys is filtering properly, that way it doesn't turn into anything else. Because as long as that mucus stays in your body, it's going to keep mutating into something else. It might get pushed around, go to the lungs. It might get pushed around, go to the liver. It just keeps moving around the body and causing more havoc, which they call free radicals. Have anybody heard of the term free radicals? Free radicals, which they also call protein. So the protein, which also is ran by low-level energy. So if your body is not having that balance of alkalinity in it, you're over time are going to have a problem with low-level energy. Low-level energy is pretty much, can be stress to technology to just the atmosphere itself. If you're in the alkaline atmosphere, you won't be able to handle it if your body is acidic, period. And that's over time. It doesn't happen overnight. But with the young folks, it's getting to them a lot faster because they have video games going all the time. I know when I was young, I didn't eat fruit. Didn't eat fruit, vegetables, none of that. It's same meal. We got up heavy meals, eggs, cheese, sausages, bacon, pancakes, same thing. So when it came to 42 years old, I'm like, man, I done ate everything. But I didn't eat fruits and vegetables. It's the whole show right there. The show's stopping.
Too many people in here.
Man, you got some dope pieces over here too, man. What's up, man? Since I like this right here. You know where to find me at? Alright. Yeah, but it's been a good transition. I don't expect to go back at all. I just can't. I can't see going back to eating the same things I ate before. I have 3 kids and a granddaughter. So with going back to that, it makes no sense for me. And then I've also changed a lot of people around me. My mother changed. Father's still been in his stubborn ways, but he'll eventually get it at some point in time, or not, or not. But it's, like you said, I can't force it. Can't force it.
it was the same way with my dad. My mom, she was the first one that got on board. So
Yeah.
my dad, he was the toughest.
She's gonna have to start cooking. Yeah, my mom's gonna have to start cooking for him and just let him taste it. Yeah. I seen when I first started changing, you know, he would start ordering like more pizza and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, I'm alright. Yeah, you know, I'm alright. I don't want that. Because I know it, I've been there already. I know what pizza tastes like. It tastes good. It tastes good. It tastes, all the food I used to eat tasted great. But see, without knowing how to eat and overeating was the problem.
These doggies coming.
Was the problem. And with that being said, it was definitely that time for that change to come. I've been told for like the past 3 years to stop eating meat, stop drinking alcohol. Your kidney, and the messages was coming through me from the universe, and it was coming through other people. Your kidneys is bad. You need to stop. You need to stop. So last year, I stopped with alcohol. And then that was in October. And then this year, it was just a flip of the switch to switch from eating. My last thing I ate was a jerk chicken taco. The next day was fruits and vegetables. And I'm like, man, I don't know how to cook it. I'm gonna pull up one of these channels and they gonna work out. We gonna work it out together. So it was just me in the kitchen, trial and error, just doing different things. But when I did that, I was at maybe about 175, and the weight literally started dropping off. Like every week, 5 pounds every week. That was before I even started taking the herbs or even found out about the alkaline healing herbs. So after about a month, then the alkaline healing herbs came in. That's when, you know, I really started seeing more of a different change and healing myself with soursop leaves and things like that, because there's a lot of damage that occurs. A lot of small tumors that we can't see, can't feel, we don't understand. A lot of blood clots you might get in the brain. I was Mr. Technology, so I had 2 cell phones, I got AirPods going, I'm all day with them, and having them in the bed with me and everything. And over that short period of time of 2 years, can do a lot of damage when you have that much technology around you. And not understanding that the ways that you're eating is what's causing the mucus to keep transforming. Not just the technology. You know, everybody wants to say the 5G, or people are trying to say this and that. It's really how you eat it. Because if we are energy form, like the chef was saying, we are energy. And with that being said, is we have to start respecting our bodies as that. Because when we're feeding our bodies the fuel that's supposed to be fed, then we can handle any type of energy out here, whether high, low, like the scientist Nikola Tesla. The man stood in between 2 wires, to let AC current flow through his body. Now, how can a man do that and still live? Like, because we think about it just touching the socket and it's like, you know, put our fingers in there, you know what I mean? But this man literally stood between 2 wires, and if he's able to do that, we can do that. But what was he eating? That's the question. And he was not eating the things that everybody else ate. And they actually have what, you know, they said what he was possibly eating, things like, he did drink milk, he drunk honey, it was bread, and it was something else. It's like 4 things. And sometimes he didn't eat. He didn't sleep much either. But he still kept getting the information from the universe. He still kept pushing along. His brain still kept going. So how can someone do this? Standing between electricity, and how are we not standing up to the same thing? Like, we gotta know how our bodies operate from the inside out. Because that's how we were born. We started with the heart. The heart transformed everything. So we have to unlock that key to the heart to understand what we are and how to heal ourselves. We have to. And that's a lot of things that we talk about with I am the proof, I am the evidence. with the facts. We talk about breaking the chains of the mind. We talk about questioning nothing. We have to always question everything, including nothing. We have to, because we don't question anything right now. Like right now, people don't do their research. We don't check out anything. And we're sitting here lost. We got friends that are sitting here lost, family members, just sitting around. They're praying. We got a lot of people out here praying. Y'all come on in. How you doing? Come on in. How y'all doing?
Praise be. This one. Oh, let me get out.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, we got to start questioning everything, including nothing. Because a lot of us we didn't have I didn't have an understanding of how to put it until I met one of the brothers, Levi. And when he actually told me the message of we all come from nothing, and nothing is the all-knowing thing, it made more sense to me when I used to always read the Bible in the beginning, and I used to always wonder, how did all this get started? Where did it come from? And then you have that image in your head, it's like you came from the dark. You come from nothing. And every time you close your eyes, you're right back into the place where you come from. And you venture that time. Every time you close your eyes and go to sleep, that's where you're at. Your home, your other home. When you dream, that's other dimensions. Like, these are the things we have to understand and start questioning what's really going on. And then when you actually understand that, then you can actually start bringing that back and start creating your own life all over again. Because right now we've all been raised to follow a certain path of someone else's history, which is not ours. And that's what we are bringing to the table as well. So I also just recently changed names, came from under colonization, and also picked up my indigenous IDs as well. So now I can be more free and don't have to be bound down to what, I was born into. Because we were called black, we were called African, we were called this, we were lied to many, 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 many times. And I don't like to be lied to, especially about things that I've learned that you made me get a grade for, I done got punished for not getting good grades for it. Because it was all BS in the beginning. And then later on in the future, you find out it was a bunch of lies. So I'm like, why am I going to keep following this when you lied to me about it? It'd be insane. It's like bumping my head up against the wall. So with that being said, I'm pretty happy about the change.
Wait, so how do you do that? How do you change your name and all this?
Man, I could definitely give you more information on that. We have like a tribal jurist that'll help out. What they do is kind of find out where your genealogy is from and things like that, so they connect you with your tribe and everything. And then you would be under international law where you have the peace treaties for the international law for becoming indigenous. Yeah, so you would be under the tribal constitution as well. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I got all the paperwork, everything here. So I can definitely let you check it out. Yeah, need some more information on it. But yeah, with that being said, we got a couple more people that's going to be coming up as well. I'm going to kind of end my talk. You guys have any questions or anything for me?
How long was the process?
Process was I went through a lawyer. She's out in Florida. It was about 2-3 weeks.
Nice.
Yeah, about 2 to 3 weeks. So the moment you send over your paperwork, your payment, You get the ball rolling quick. Very quick. So yeah, I got my passport card, tax exempt. So you become tax exempt on purchases and like businesses. Yeah, so it's definitely to become free of that. Man, it's amazing. It's amazing because we never really have that chance, but everyone else that comes here have that chance except us. Because we were put in the dark about it, then we got scared of the dark, didn't want to venture off of that information. So the information got put in the dark. The truth is always in the dark. You have to go to the dark in order to get the truth, because everything that's in the light that you think you see is really not what you see. So we have to start facing the dark in order to start facing our fears, in order to get the truth of what's going on out here. And with that being said, I'm going to bring up one of my other good brothers here. My brother Will the Beast. Man, he definitely has came from a long way, man. And he's been awakened and enlightened with a lot of things that he can help you guys out too as well. All right? All right, Brother Will.
Indeed. My name is Will. On Instagram, I go by Eat with the Beast. My barber page is X Will the Beast X. I used to be 282 pounds. I had multiple sclerosis, a moderate case, and I came across Dr. Sebi's protocol, listening to his lectures and watching his videos on YouTube. I came across a video where he was being interviewed by Rock Newman, and it just changed me. And I started to do everything that he said as far as making dietary changes, because I wanted to get rid of this condition. He said that all disease is because of mucus in the body. And he broke it down, how mucus gets in the body. And it made sense to me. You know, if we are all made by a creator, whatever we choose to call it, but that entity created us all the same way that it created the birds, a lion, a tiger, a gorilla. And if you look at these various different species, they all come with a food in a respective environment. So a gorilla, he eats from a certain diet in the Congo, in Africa. But if you take this gorilla and you move him to the ice, he'll die. Not only is his gene structure not meant to survive that environment, but you can put a coat on him to help him withstand the elements, but then what about his food? So that got me to thinking, okay, well, what is food? Because a chicken, a cow, a pig, a lamb, that's not food. No meat is food. Our teeth are not designed to eat through flesh. Our teeth are designed like herbivores, even dating back to the dinosaurs. You got dinosaurs who eat plants, and you got dinosaurs who eat meat. And the ones who eat meat, their teeth is designed to rip through flesh, and they can eat meat raw. They don't have to have it cooked. If we, human beings, eat raw meat, we'll die before we see the age of 50. Easy. So, that got me to seeing that I'm not supposed to eat meat. Then when it came to the starches, you got a lot of things that I've been told my whole life that is good, like a carrot. A carrot is not good. A carrot does not reproduce a seed to reproduce itself. So it's garbage, it's not food. That's the same thing for cauliflower, for broccoli, for tobacco,
Garlic.
what?
Garlic.
Garlic. Garlic was created in Egypt, and garlic was initially used as an embalming agent to embalm dead bodies. But we eat that as a food. Garlic. If you test garlic on the pH scale, garlic is very bad for you. If you test garlic on the pH scale, it'll be in the 3s.
Okay, so I don't know nothing, don't know me to
Uh-huh.
it, but I thought that it was like a really good like antibody for you and to fight like illnesses and stuff like
I
that.
mean this with love, sister. We cannot think no longer. We cannot I thought anything. We need to know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So with that being said, if garlic was good, if it really truly is good, then where do you find it growing naturally without a man raising it?
Oh, I don't know. I find it in the store.
No,
I'm
no.
saying is I heard it was
But that's what I'm
out
saying though. Anything that you find in the store, if it's truly food, we should have an origin where we can find it. In the store, you can find dandelion greens, but you also find dandelion greens growing in your front yard. You see what I'm saying? Now
Yeah.
that is food. You see what I'm saying? Red clover, burdock, that's food. We may not know that it was called burdock, but when I was a kid, we used to get these what they call kuka bugs that would stick to my pants and my shoestrings. That comes from the burdock plant. That's the bird or the seed that produces that plant. You see what I'm saying? So that's food though. But when it comes to potatoes and rice and beans and all of that type of stuff, that's not food. Now, a lot of what we even, so I follow Dr. Sabi's nutritional guide 100% for the most part. I'll say for the most part. I've had asparagus, I've had some green beans I grew in my garden, you know, and those, they used to be on his list, but they're not on his list anymore. But when you look at his list is not a list of foods that are alkaline. That's a terrible assumption that most of us make. 80% of the stuff that's on his nutritional guide are hybrid. But it happens to be the best of what we have to choose from that's in the grocery stores. So, you know, they're not gonna harm you as much. Chickpeas will not harm you like red kidney beans or pinto beans will hurt you. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't contain this, and it's gluten free, you know. Quinoa is very good. Now, red quinoa, that's natural, but not so for the black quinoa and the white quinoa. Those are hybrids, but they don't hurt you as much. And it's a real good replacement for rice. There's a lot, you know, there's a lot of things like that. You know, you can go down the list, but my point is that even with his nutritional guide, we're not eating all natural. The basis of this lifestyle, this diet, it's about the herbs. You got to consume herbs because that's the real food. If I make spelt bread and I'm not using anything that is alkaline, truly alkaline, then why are we calling it alkaline? It's not alkaline if we're using spelt. Spelt is an ancient grain, but it's still a hybrid. It's wheat. All forms of wheat contain gluten. So that ruins it being natural. It's not natural. But if I take spelt and some Celtic sea salt, that's natural, and I take some onion powder or some granulated onion, and I mix in some sea moss, the sea moss is going to give it alkalinity. Now we talking about some electric food. You know, that's, you know, having herbs in your daily diet. That's what we should be gearing towards. A lot of people are saying we should be vegan or we should be plant-based. In my humble opinion, we should be herbs-based. So no matter what you eat, if you incorporating some type of herb into your daily diet, now you're doing something good. But if we're just eating vegan and we're not putting any herbs in our system, that's why vegans get sick. because there's nothing to help boost the immune system. There's no iron, there's nothing natural going into the body. So, you know, I know I take a lot of different turns when I get talking because I just let things go off the hip. But like I said, when I started this lifestyle, I was 282 pounds. I had multiple sclerosis. It was hard for me to walk in a straight line. I saw 6 different neurologists. I couldn't even hold my son. I had to walk with his stroller or with a cart. We would go to the grocery store and I'm pushing around a cart because pushing around a cart will help me to go straight instead of, you know, my feet not walking in the correct cadence. You know what I'm saying? So doing this lifestyle, I got rid of that. I flushed it down the toilet. It's a worm that stands, if I stretched it out from end to end, it would be taller than me. But all of that is predicated on eating the wrong food. And once you put the right food into your body and you fast, then you can get rid of any condition. But when you fast, you want to, in my opinion, I think a lot of us make the mistake of jumping into this lifestyle and then we just go straight into fasting without making the necessary changes to our diet. Because when you come off the fast, what are you going to eat? If you go back to eating the stuff that you just cleansed out, then we just took 1 step forward and 2 steps back. Counterproductive. So what I did was I found a replacement for everything that I was weak for. I like pizza, I like chicken, I like burgers, I like stir fries and potatoes and ice cream and cakes and cookies and shit. I like all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But if I'm gonna stay away from that, I gotta have a replacement. I used to smoke cigarettes, and I'm one who feels that smoking is not bad for you. It's what you smoke that's bad for you. So I had to have a replacement for everything. Once I had the replacement for burgers, it was very easy for me to gravitate to this lifestyle. I made falafel. You know, falafel, they make them in, you know, into little balls, but I'm like, well, why can't I make this into a patty? It kind of tastes like a chicken patty. Why couldn't I just shape it into a patty, deep fry it in some grapeseed oil, and have it that way? And I did, and that, you know, now I'm making a lot of different things. You know, it just, you know, I was able to grow from that. And, you know, I don't miss my old diet at all. And it's, fasting has been really, really helpful. It's been very good for me. I'm fasting now. I'm on day 16, and I'm going 60 days. And that's not long. That's about half as long as I did last year. And it's not difficult to fast, as long as you're putting the herbs in. Again, the herbs are very, very important. In every religious book, it says that the herbs are for healing, and that the fruit shall be for meat. But then when we get sick, the first thing we do is we run and go see a doctor. Like I said, I've seen 6 different neurologists. And my mother, she's been a nurse as long as I've been alive. I'm 40 years old. And I said, man, I'm seeing all of these different people, but they're not really giving me any answers, and they're not helping me. I've heard that marijuana, medical marijuana, is supposed to help with multiple sclerosis, but they wouldn't give me a prescription for it. So you're not going to give me a prescription for it. You want to give me these other medications, and then when I start to look at it, they're giving me meclizine and meloxicam and gabapentin. These are things that just get me started. And I didn't like how it was making me feel, but when I look at the ingredients and then I researched the side effects of the ingredients, then it made sense why it made me feel the way I was feeling, but it wasn't helping. So why are they giving it to me? Then I looked at medicine in general. Sadie got me to realize that, for one, medicine didn't start out with chemicals. It started out with using herbs. Because there's a man named Hippocrates which every physician in this country that practices allopathic and homeopathic medicine, they have to take an oath. It's called a Hippocratic oath. To this man who established medicine, or the principle of medicine, Hippocrates, and he used herbs. So why aren't they using the herbs? Then I looked at what they do. A doctor doesn't cure anything. A doctor has never cured anything. What they do is they manage disease. They give you a medication that will make you feel good enough just to keep coming back so that they can milk your insurance. You know, you keep paying all this money, but it never really ever helps you to get healthy.
It doesn't cure you.
It doesn't.
Right.
But then, what do they work out of? A doctor works out of a medical practice, meaning that they practice medicine. So why are we going to these motherfuckers?
It's all business to them. All money.
Experimenting.
Exactly. And it's a matter of control, you know? So, like I said, after learning that, I did everything that Sadie said to do. He said to fast. You know, I started my first fast. And first off, a fast is anything that you are abstaining from. You know, if I smoke cigarettes and I want to be healthier, I'm having a hard time stopping smoking, but I'm looking for a substitute. Then you can smoke an herb. There's many different herbs you can smoke that will give you the satisfaction of smoking a cigarette, but it isn't going to have the carcinogenic effects that tobacco will have in the body. So you can smoke dandelion leaf, roll in some hemp rolling papers. Now, because hemp is natural. So now you have a natural concoction that you're smoking. But smoking is bad for you. Well, smoking and eating is not too much different. It's the body converting a substance into energy. So when we eat something, when we eat what we think is food, it goes into the stomach and is broken down from a solid into a liquid that travels the bloodstream and nourishes different parts of the body the way it's intended to. When we smoke, that conversion takes place in the lungs. So it's the same thing. If I take dandelion leaf, and whether I cook it, whether I make a tea with it, or whether I smoke it, my body is receiving that nourishment the same way. It's not smoking that's bad, it's what you smoke. But if I replace the tobacco and go to dandelion, within a week's time, you're going to see tremendous turnaround. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not putting this harmful carcinogen into your body that damages the bloodstream. Dandelion will offset everything that tobacco does if you smoke it. I smoke dandelion often. I smoke many different herbs. I smoke every day. I smoked on my way here. And I'm going to smoke when I leave here. Indeed. You know what I'm saying? Because God made marijuana too. You know? And as long as it's got seeds, then it's something I can enjoy. So, you know, so again, that first fast, I planned to fast for 40 days, 40 nights, and I only wanted to eat from Dr. Sadie's nutritional guide. A lot of people will say, well, no, that's not really fasting. Again, fasting is whatever you are abstaining from. If I stop eating the meat and these other harmful starches, and I'm only sticking to these less harmful starches, and I'm putting in the herbs and drinking a gallon of spring water a day, I'm giving my body a chance to cleanse out a lot of the mucus that was created from the meat and the starch. And those things hang on to the body when we keep feeding it the same stuff. So if I'm eating chitlins, let's just say chitlins, because most of us don't eat chitlins. I don't like to be speaking on a particular food and make somebody feel a certain way about it, but chitlins is not something that I would ever eat because I know what it is and not many people eat it. But if I stop eating that, me eating that, that's going to create a form of mucus in the body that is different than if I had beef. Okay, two totally different. Okay, the sweat is mucus. The sweat that comes from under our armpits smells different than the sweat that comes from our feet. Very different, because it's two different substances that's causing that mucus to manifest. But if I'm not feeding the body the things that would create that mucus, it cannot hang on. It has to drain itself. Over time, it will drain itself out. When you take the herbs, it assists with that and makes things more potent. So, again, I planned that fast for 40 days and 40 nights. I went 51 days. When I started that fast, I was 265 pounds. And on the 51st day, I was 176 pounds. And I lost the majority of that weight in the first 3 weeks. And again, I was eating. I was eating cooked foods. You know, I was eating everything from his nutritional guide. But I could still feel a lot of the symptoms from multiple sclerosis. They were still lingering. So I knew that I had to do a cleanse that was a little more aggressive. That all took place in 2016. I fasted September 11th, 2016 to November 1st, 2016. That was 51 days. The next fast that I did, that was in 2017. And I started that fast December the 12th. My birthday is December 11th. So I wanted to eat real nice for my birthday and enjoy myself. And I said that the following, the next day when I wake up, I'm going to start this fast. I'm going to do what Dr. Sebi said. I'm going to go for 90 days. Well, the first day, I had problems because I was trying to fast on just liquids and herbs, but I was having problems. I'm like, man, this is a little harder than I thought. I'm like 14 hours in, and this was tough. And I was a stay-at-home dad at this time because I was dealing with multiple sclerosis. I had filed for Social Security disability. I was at home. I was stay-at-home dad. So it was really tough. But what I did was, I said what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to abandon this fast. I'm going to eat raw. I'm going to eat any type of fruit or vegeta that is raw. So that's mango, that's avocado, salads, different melons, things like that. And I'm still fairly new to the lifestyle. I didn't even really know how to pick a ripe avocado. But doing the fast that way, it helped me to learn how to pick certain fruits, certain vegeta, how they should taste when they are raw. And I got to appreciate something like the taste of a raw avocado. Man, I can eat that all day. Straight up. I'm talking about all day I can eat that. Mango, a good mango, man, listen. So I did that for the first 45 days. And it made my journey with that a lot more comfortable. I was able to prime myself to where I wasn't going to eat nothing. The 46th day, I said, I'm going to go on ahead and start I'm going to do the rest of this fast just all liquid. And throughout the whole fast, I maintained certain herbs that was consistent with cleansing the central nervous system. Multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's disease, many different neurological disorders, they're all dealing with the brain, spinal cord, and the nerves. So it would take the same therapy of herbs to cleanse out any of that. So, I did that. I took a lot of products that I got from Dr. Sebi, the Banju, the BioFerro, the green food, the iron food. And then I was learning to make my own compounds. I was mixing different herbs, and I was taking a lot of things by way of tea every day. So, like I said, and I went 95 days total. with that fast. I fasted from the day after my birthday, which was December the 12th, to the day after my sister's birthday. Her birthday was March 16th, so I broke my fast on March 17th. But on the 65th day, I passed a worm. Again, it's housed in the intestines. And if I stretched it out from end to end, it stood taller than me. And when I passed it, I felt incredible. I felt really, really good that day. That was February 15th. I remember me and my son, I picked him up and I went to the store. I like Pete's Fresh Market. We went to Pete's in Calumet City. And we had a real good time. And I was sharing my experience in a group on Facebook called Alkaline Vegan Girls. They helped me a lot with my transition and learning, what herbs to take, different things about, fasting and just the lifestyle in general. But I shared my experience with them, and, I just can't remember, I can't forget how good I felt that day. I was just in a state of, like, I was on a high. I couldn't be touched that day. So, but then I finished the rest of the fast. For the remainder of the fast, I think up until the last 2 or 3 days, I was passing nothing but mucus, big globs of it, just coming out. And like I said, I began to realize that, I'm like, well, where's this stuff coming from? How did it get in? A lot of it is from the food, but a lot of it is from the medication too. Every time I went to go take an MRI, they're injecting a dye in my bloodstream that my body cannot digest, but it's there. So and they're using that to help get clearer images. But that stuff was coming out of me as I was fasting. If you look at your stool and you pay close attention, you'll see mucus on your stool. You'll see it. I remember the first time that I noticed it, I was taking bromide. That's Dr. Sebi compound, and I used to sweat real bad around my neck, and it used to feel like something was crawling on my neck. I used to wake up always scratching, real uncomfortable. But then this one particular day, I don't remember the day, but I remember my stool was heavy. It was just like one big stool. And it attached to it though was a bunch of little tiny worms. Little white worms. And I'm like, what the fuck did this shit? It was like thousands of them. Like it filled the whole turd. It was like it was white. You know what I'm saying?
Parasites. Yeah.
Exactly. And it was coming from my thyroid gland.
Oh.
It was attached to the thyroid. You see what I'm saying? Before that, I didn't know nothing about no thyroid. I didn't know where it was located. I didn't know where anything was located in the body. But when we have pain and we have discomfort in particular places in the body, that's a sign. We don't have pain that come and go for no reason. There's a reason that it's happening. And you can always point to what you ate. Every time you can point to that. So, I passed that parasite. I flushed that disease down the toilet. I've been fasting like that every year since then. And this year, I broke my fast on my son's birthday, which is April 13th, and that was 123 days. Now, that might sound like, man, you fasted for 123 days? And I did. It was all liquid. No solid food. Very little juicing. But it's doable. It's not hard. When you start, first off, I had to be in a state of illness for me to even think that I would even try something like that. It took me to get sick for me to be able to see this perspective. So if a person isn't sick, I can't imagine that they would even want to fast for that long if there's no true purpose behind it. If you, my sister, she had diabetes, she had PCOS, she had many different like surgeries in her eyes. They were injecting her with certain fluids to help save her vision because of the diabetes. But you know, I wish that she could have saw it the way that I seen it. Not everybody is gonna be able to receive this message and it resonate with them. What's understood don't have to be explained. All I had to do was hear Sadie talk one time, and I got it. It didn't, you know, I didn't have to have nobody convince me that this is the way to go. You know, it just all makes sense. But if it's not making sense and you don't have no real purpose on fasting, then there's on getting rid of a condition, then fasting isn't really where you need to go. The only thing that I would recommend is that, again, you take our diet should be herb based. We should be consuming at least one herb every day, every single day, however you get it into your system. Even if you're doing something like smudging, if you take sage and you burn it around your house, you're breathing that in. They say smoking is bad, but you're breathing in that smoke. So it's not smoking is bad, it's what you smoke. You see what I'm saying? So however you get it in, it's going to be beneficial to you, but make sure it's natural. And for the women in here, I would recommend that every woman in here take red clover every day. Every day. And it's delicious. Get you some red clover and make the tea, dress it with some key lime juice and some agave, and have as much of it as you want. You'll be surprised at how good you feel. It's really good. It's good for you, you know? So, like I said, I fast like that every year. I think it's beneficial to anyone who's trying to overcome any type of manifestation of disease. But if you're not into fasting for the need of fasting, then, you know, learn more about the herbs and just start experimenting with different foods that you may be weak for, you know, in the lifestyle. There's plenty different groups and recipes and information out there. There's many different people. You know, we got a restaurant currently, Conscious Plates, that serves pretty good food. They're gonna be doing something here. Y'all gonna be doing something here pretty soon, right? Or y'all gonna be opening up for doing restaurant food as good cooks y'all is?
But yeah, they partner with food.
Indeed, you know. So
We gonna be getting the outdoor.
indeed, yes indeed, word. So yeah, that's all I got, man. I appreciate y'all listening. If y'all got any questions, I'll be happy to answer whatever questions I can. But you know, the one thing that I will say is that, you know, learn more about your food. Know where it comes from. If you weak for cheese and you like cheese like that, then know what it takes to make cheese and where it truly comes from. Because if you never heard of rennet and you eating cheese, you're eating rennet all the time. And where does rennet come from? You can look that up for yourself. You know, every ingredient that we consume, we should be knowing where it comes from. And if it's something that you can't pronounce, then you shouldn't put it into your body.
Can you spell that?
Which one?
Rennet.
Rennet, RENNET. What is rennet? And you'll find, you know, some disturbing information. If you eat things like Doritos, and they got an ingredient in there, guano. What is guano? It's disturbing. So, but yeah, this lifestyle is not hard. It's I enjoy my food now more than I did then. I don't eat any less. I still eat like I'm 280 pounds. You know, and I enjoy my food. I really do. I guarantee you, it's not a person that I've encountered this year that eat more than me. I guarantee it. I can eat, and I love to cook, and the food is good. You know, a lot of us think that, you know, when you eat plant-based or you eat vegan, that you know, the food is going to be bland, it's going to be terrible. Well, you know, if you take ground beef or chicken and you don't season it and you cook it, I guarantee you ain't finna eat that. You gotta season your food. And it's just straight like that. A lot of times we go vegan and we think, oh man, we can't have no salt, we can't have no this and that. But that's not necessarily the case. There is a such thing as good salt. Celtic sea salt, very good. That's the only salt that you can buy that is alkaline. But, you know, you got different versions of sea salt, and they all gonna be different. You know, sea salt is better than kosher salt and iodized salt, but it's not nearly as good as Celtic sea salt. Celtic sea salt is the only one that can advertise that their salt is alkaline. The only one. So yeah, you have to season your food, and you should enjoy your food. Food should be enjoyed. When I eat, I like to, I dance, straight up. I love my food, on the real, man. I get to moving this shit. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, it's enjoyable, man. You know, learn to love your food, get to know your food better, and there's no better love than self-love. You know, you gotta learn to love yourself. That's the one thing that I've learned from this too, is self-love. If I go, you know, a lot of people celebrated the holidays a few days ago. You know, I haven't been fortunate enough to celebrate holidays with my family because I eat different. And when I go to a family gathering and they're serving what I used to eat, and they say, hey, Will, have some whatever. And I say, no, I can't have that. You know, they looking at me like I think I'm higher than or I'm better than, and it's not that. It's not that at all. I ain't nothing. I'm just trying to live. I'm just trying to love myself and just eat something that I know is good. I'm not trying to force what I do on my family. I'm not going up to people saying, hey, you shouldn't eat this and you shouldn't eat that. That's not right neither. You know what I mean? That's being judgmental. I'm not judging anyone for what they eat because I came up eating the same things. You know what I mean? You know, and what I eat now, again, avocado. Avocado is not natural. Avocado is not natural. But when I am eating, I eat tons of avocado. You know, because avocado is not as bad as me eating something that I've used avocados to replace is something like potatoes with the way that I use avocado. So, you know,
it was natural.
Say what now?
I thought avocado was natural.
There is a natural avocado, but not a Haas avocado. That's why they call it Haas avocado, because a man with the name Haas made it.
Right.
And if you can find it, if there's something that you see in the store all year round, hybrid, not natural.
Yeah, I don't get those avocados though. I get the green ones. Like the green ones, they're like.
Talking about the Florida avocado.
Those are the ones I use.
Yeah, they grow them in Florida. It originates from the Dominican Republic. And that might be closer. You got many different varieties of avocado.
Yeah, there's some Jamaican ones too, and there's a lot of them.
Mm-hmm. So the natural one though, if it's natural, for one, you should be able to go to a particular geography and harvest that wild. Okay? It has a place of origin and it'll still be there, just like dandelion. Now dandelion don't come from the Americas. Don't come from here. Dandelion come from Eastern Europe, Western Asia. Christopher Columbus brought the dandelion here. He invaded this country. Thought he was going to India. Stupid motherfucker thought he was going to India. He's calling people Indians and don't even know, you know? So he brought a lot of stuff here too. He brought the pig, he brought the horse, he brought a lot of stuff that didn't originate from this land. But my point is that if you go to Europe and Asia, you still find dandelion growing there. And you can't get it no better than if it comes from that geography. the dandelion that we get here is not as potent as the dandelion from there, because this environment, it mimics Europe and Asia, that area that way, so it can survive. But the mineral content that it was meant to absorb from the soil, it isn't quite here. It can't be, because the land is different. You see what I'm saying? If I take the avocado from the Dominican Republic and I grow it in Florida, it cannot be as good as it coming from the Dominican Republic. This is the environment that this plant was meant to be in. You see what I'm saying? So the best nourishment is going to come from where you can get it naturally. Right. Cannabis sativa, that comes from Canada. You see what I'm saying? So all of these other different types of strains of marijuana, it's not going to be as potent as a seeded variety, number one. Right. And then number two, it's not going to be as potent as if you get it straight from nature. You cannot get any fresher than getting it from nature. You won't get it more potent than getting it from nature. You see what I'm saying? So knowing the origin of a place, of a particular food is very important. Knowing, the grow season, when you harvest it and all of that, all of those things make a big difference. But again, I want to say, when it comes to a lot of the different foods that are on Sabi's nutritional guide, again, I eat all of that. There's very few. I don't eat apples, not much. If I do, I peel the skin, because apples contain inorganic lead, and it'll make you bloated. Right. Which is a sign to let us know that those apples are no good. Right. But see, you got 666 varieties of apples, but only one apple is natural. That's the crab apple. Crab apples are so small, they look like cherries. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that is alkaline, but not these other things. I
never even heard of that apple.
Crab apple? Yeah, when I was a kid, I used to see trees a lot. It's not so much anymore, but yeah, you can look it up. Crab apple, the malice. So, like I say, just getting more in tune with your food, where it comes from, the things that you put into your body, and if you find that a particular substance that you consume is hurting you, if you see that when I eat this dairy, that my allergies are flaring up, my nose I can't breathe right. The dairy is causing that inflammation. And you have to be conscious of that. You know what I'm saying? You have to be conscious of that. No doctor can tell you that. You have to see that, know that for yourself. If it's a lot to it. It's a lot, you just have to get in tune with your body. There's a lot of things that you are your best doctor. That's what I want to say. When the perspective is changed and is geared into a certain vision, then you are your best doctor. Knowing what you put into your body, how your body responds to certain substances. I like walnuts, right? But I'm not eating walnuts out of a bag anymore. When I eat walnuts out of the bag that's being processed with other tree nuts and dairy and stuff, when you look on the back of the bag, it'll tell you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm finding myself eating these walnuts and my gums keep itching. I don't like that. My gums itching. You know what I'm saying? So, but when I eat the shelled walnuts, if I shell them myself, I'm not having that reaction. Right. You see what I'm saying? So see, I recognize that this is hurting me. It may not be extreme, but I don't like my gums itching. Right. Why? Because the teeth, the gums, the eyes are connected straight to the brain. And my condition is neurological. I, beyond no circumstance, will put something in my body that's going to fuck with my brain. I cannot have cyanide, so I can't eat potatoes. Potatoes contain cyanide. Cauliflower contains cyanide. Soybean contain a large amount of cyanide. Cyanide is very bad. It will break the neural system down and develop something like multiple sclerosis or Parkinson's disease. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah. Yes, indeed. So,
So for people who's just now starting off, like fasting and just trying to eat better, like what's the best way do you think is the best way to start that off? Because I know a lot of our foods that we eat can become very addicting, which is another issue. So like what's the best way you recommend like starting a fast for the first time?
well, what I would do is, first off, I wouldn't put any standard on the fast. I wouldn't say how long, how many days I'm gonna do. I would just get started. But I would develop the base of the fast based around what I know that I could do. I knew that I could start my first fast. I knew that if I was eating something, just not the stuff that I'm trying to avoid, I knew I could do that. So I stuck to that. My second fast, when I started out just eating raw, again, that first day I was having problems. But I adjusted, and when I saw that I can eat raw, it's doable. So I would say, first off, find out where your threshold, I guess, where it is, and then go from there. You should have a gallon of water a day. That will help to curb a lot of the appetite and things like that. But then the herbs are very important. You need large amounts of sea moss every day. You know, you need to, again, red clover. I would recommend red clover to any system. You know what I mean?
What's it beneficial for?
Red clover is beneficial to the hormone system. It really helps women with estrogen. But a lot of us guys, we think that if we consume red clover, that it'll give us estrogen. That's not true. Estrogen is something that is produced. Testosterone is produced in the body. So your body is going to take in iron and it's going to convert it into estrogen. You see what I'm saying? So the iron from red clover, especially for a woman, it helps to settle estrogen levels the way it's supposed to. So that's one benefit. Red clover is very good for your integumentary system, hair, skin, and nails. Circulatory system, that's the blood, the hormones, and it's very good for digestion. It's a diuretic. So, in addition to those two, my favorite food is dandelion. I would say to take that. So, you got 3 herbs you could take. You don't have to be fasting to take those herbs though. Get acclimated with that. I think that's the biggest thing. Just learn what you like. And then when you start looking at different fruits and vegetables that way, you find out which ones you really like, and when you get to the point where you feel like you could do a day just eating that, or 2 days, because one day will turn into 2, and 2 turn into 4, and so on and so forth. Fasting is like lifting weights to me. If I just started lifting, you know what I mean? I'm not a big workout guy. But if I start out lifting, I can't be adding this weight onto the bar. I need to figure out if I can push the bar up first. Once I lift the bar up and I'm just throwing it up, now I can add weight on little by little, little by little. So if I'm fasting, like I said, don't put no time frame on yourself, because that could be discouraging. I say, man, I'm finna do 60 days. And then I get a few days in, and then I realize that I can't do it the way that I planned it. Now I'm discouraged. Now I stop, and I might never turn back. That's not good. You know what I mean?
Question. So when you say you have the parasites and you let them out, when were you fasting on when you were doing them?
What herbs?
Yeah.
I took a lot of sea moss. I took burdock root, dandelion root, wormwood, chaparral.
Were you also eating food like raw foods?
No. Well, the first 95-day fast, yeah. The first 45 days I was eating raw. and I was still taking those herbs. You know what I'm saying? And I think that I'm gonna be honest with you. I can't prove it, but I think that if I had just kept doing that and taking the herbs, my body still would have released that parasite, that mucous membrane. I think I still would have released that. It just wouldn't have happened as soon as it did. You know what I mean? But I can't prove that, so I don't really like to talk about things that I think. I like to know it. You know what I mean? Too often we go off of things that we think. You know, oh, I think that the sky is blue. Well, no, how about I go outside and look and check to see if it's blue for myself? You know what I'm saying? Because people could tell you anything. If I Google something if I search Google on anything, what is it? Is it life or God who put this information in there? No, it's a man, a person who put this in there. You know what I'm saying? And they could be leading me astray. They say they got products that say all natural, right? But then when you look at the ingredients, it'll say carrot juice or carrot oil. But carrot is not natural. Off top, it's a lie. You know what I'm saying? But even they don't even know. Because see, the terms have been manipulated. You know what I mean? Organic. What does organic mean? I don't put a lot of stock into buying organic food. I don't buy organic. I'll get it if it's on sale. You know what I'm saying? But I don't make a big deal about that. Because just because it's organic, what does it mean? It don't mean it is natural. You know what I'm saying? And all it really means is that they're not going to put pesticides on it. I can wash the pesticides off. But what are they feeding it? What are they feeding an organic apple that makes it 3 times the size of a non-organic apple?
Fact.
See what I'm saying? That's a problem to me, and we're not looking at that. So if I'm gonna make a big deal about it being organic, I'm gonna just grow it myself. I got a garden. I got 2 garden spaces that will be almost about equal to this room. You know what I'm saying? And
I want to do that too.
Yeah, me too. I'm trying to start.
it's easy. Just get started. Just plant that seed and then just watch it grow. Get you a little starter kit. Get the seeds of whatever you want to grow. And I didn't feed my garden nothing but water. I grew lots of tomatoes and kale and arugula and bell peppers and cucumbers and all. I grew honeydew melon. I was tripping off that, you know. It was dope. It was real dope. But yeah, I would definitely encourage to grow food. That's something that I feel like we should even be learning in school.
Yeah.
You know, we should be learning how to grow food. But see, they don't teach us that because they're keeping us a part of a system that it's about control. Just like when we go to school, we don't go to school to learn how to. They send us to school so that we can be a part of a system.
Repetitiveness.
Yes, but not to be an entrepreneur, not to be self-sustaining. They teach us to be dependent on the system. Me, I don't like school. I took my kids out of school. I homeschool them. You know what I'm saying? So this way I am in control of what they are learning. Because when I look at what they're learning, they're not really learning a whole lot. But my kids gonna know how to grow some food though. You know what I'm saying? They gonna know how to grow some food. And they don't eat like me. My kids don't eat like me yet. You know what I mean? They didn't have to make that change. You know? Somebody was talking about forcing. My man right there, he was talking about you can't force it. You can't force it. I cannot force that on my kids. You know what I'm saying? My son, he's 6, my daughter's 13, and they eat pizza every day. Every day. That's all they eat. Pizza, waffles, you know what I'm saying? They like bacon, but they eat chicken bacon. See? So I want to address that. That's a step in the right direction. It's not totally fixing the problem, but chicken bacon is better than pork bacon. Soon enough, they won't need the bacon. You see what I'm saying? Because they're gonna try what I use as a replacement for bacon, but I don't have to force it in their face. They see me eating it, they see me enjoying it. I be I be damn near. It'd be fine. I be almost. Yeah, I ain't gonna get too graphic. Man, at the end of the day, I love to eat. You know what I'm saying? So, fried kelp. If you take some kelp and you deep fry it in some grapeseed oil, and you eat that, I guarantee you will not have the need to eat no bacon. It's delicious and it's good. You know what I'm saying? That's something that is truly alkaline. It's kelp. You know. So, but like I said, I don't force them to eat what I eat. Throughout time, number one, my kids, they drink water every day. I don't have a lot of juice and pop and stuff around the house. You know what I mean? I have water, Crystal Geyser all over the place. So they'll drink, you know, a half a gallon of water a day. I didn't drink no water as a kid. So already they better than me. You see what I'm saying? As they get older, I'm gonna give them the information on what is good and what is not, and they can make the decision for themselves. And it's a journey that is way less stressful on them, and it's certainly less stressful on me. I had somebody ask me the other day, you know, about my kids not eating like I do. And, you know, my kids were with some other family members for Christmas, okay? I don't celebrate Christmas, okay? But they do, and that's fine. But they're gonna eat way different than I would eat, see? So, imagine me trying to uphold them not eating sugar and anything that they want to eat, okay? And then they go over to their family member's house, and the first thing they want to do is give them what I don't want them to eat. The child at that point is not stressed. They're doing what they want to do. It's not their fault that they were born into eating this stuff. You feel me? It's not their fault. So let them enjoy it. If I go in talking about, man, y'all motherfuckers, y'all eating this bullshit, yada yada yada, I'm just sitting up here mad and shit. The only person that's mad is me. So I'm stressing myself out. No, man, go ahead, enjoy it. Enjoy it. Because it ain't finna kill me. You know what I'm saying? And they have plenty of time. I lived 36 years eating way worse garbage than my kids eating, and I'm still here. You know what I'm saying? So I can't force that on them. I have to let them gradually move into eating some of the things that I partake in. You know what I mean? And my daughter, she's coming around. You know, she asked me about my chickpea nuggets. You know, and then she started to taste my chickpea nuggets, and she liked them. Now I have a way of getting sea moss into her system. You see what I'm saying? Because I put sea moss in my chickpea nuggets and in my sauce. You know, sooner or later she'll be eating the pizza. You feel me? And I'll be able to put more stuff in there so that she can really get some good nutrition. You feel me? But if I start trying to force it, then that's how you lose people. You know, that's how you lose people. I remember on Sundays I would be watching football, and then all of a sudden I got somebody knocking at my door. It's somebody with a religion trying to sell me a religion that I wasn't looking for while I'm trying to watch the Raiders. I'm a Raider fan. That's not a recipe for success, to come and try to sell something to me that I wasn't looking for. You know what I mean? If I wanted their religion, I'm gonna come to them.
Right.
They don't have to come looking for me. They come and looking for me because it's a business. But if I'm coming to look for you, now I'm looking for healing. I'm looking for spiritual, you know. So I don't need any of that. And I don't. Yeah. What's up, bro?
I had a quick, just something I wanted to comment on, and then a question for you.
Sure.
One, I was also homeschooled. My mom was here for a moment. She spent a lot of time, and one thing that I benefited from that is not just is like a love for learning, like a genuine, like I'm 23 and I still want to read a book.
Indeed, indeed.
On that, my question was, what can you give me maybe 1 to 3 different books? Well, for someone who, just a little context. I'm in an interesting point right now where the information that's been shared tonight is I see how I can benefit from it, but I also have someone very close to me who I know could really benefit from it and really needs to make a change, but I don't want to preach to them.
Sure.
And so I want, as I wrote, my main takeaway from tonight is that I want to make a change and be an example in how I eat and my habits. And so, yeah, like being an example rather than preaching. So, what would be your top maybe 1 to 3 books that you would recommend for me as far as educating myself?
One would be Alkaline Herbal Medicine by Ankyo Aeneas. I think that's how you pronounce his name. You can find that on Amazon. It's got a black cover. Alkaline Herbal Medicine. Then you have another one by a man named Arnold Ehret. It's a couple of them. All you have to do is look up Arnold Ehret, and you can read anything on Arnold Ehret. And then I would say Dr. Layla Africa. Anything on Dr. Layla Africa is pretty decent. But besides the books, I would say, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a real big book person. I listen to a lot of Sabi. I got 130 some odd videos in my YouTube with Sabi. You know what I'm saying? And he just gives you so much information, and it's something different. Like every time I listen to him, you know what I mean? There's been videos that I've watched and listened to about 1,000 times. Every time I listen to it, I'm getting something new from this information. You know what I'm saying? It's so much information. It's easy for certain things to go over your head. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I would say that. I would say to listen to as much Sadie. And if you needed any, you got my number, bro. If you you can text me, man. Send me a video. I'll send it to you. You know what I'm saying? Yes, sir. But that would be those books. Those would be my suggestions. The Alkaline Herbal Medicine. That one I did read. Anything with Arnold Ehret. I got like 3 books on Arnold Ehret. And then, like I said, Dr. Layla Africa. I would recommend them for sure. And then, like I said, anything on Sadie. You know, just anything on Dr. Sadie, bro. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
It's awesome, man.
Absolutely. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yeah, buddy. So, indeed, I appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all.
Appreciate you.
Indeed.
Hey, all right. Y'all can definitely check this out. It's recorded on YouTube Live. I didn't get yours recorded on YouTube Live, but I did get your recording. Man, because we definitely want to make sure we get this information out there and share it. We're also going to have information and conversation tomorrow. It might be on YouTube channel, which is the Mic Check Meta, META. Or it might be on Facebook under Mike Moton, MOTON.
I did want to get like something.
All right.
Bracelet on.
All right, y'all.
Are these stuff to me? What crystal is that?
Yeah.